everyone, welcome to Auntie Tarot. Happy 8/8. Today's 8/8 Lionsgate. And I'm being called to do a twin flame reading today. What does the Divine Masculine want us to know? And I was shuffling, and these were the cards that came out. The message is kind of deep and profound, so I've been sitting here digesting, but when I sat down and started to do the reading, it was 9:11 a.m. here in the East Coast, so it's interesting. It's now 9:54, so I've been preparing for about half an hour, 35-40 minutes. So the first card, well, actually when I was shuffling, two cards came out for what does the Divine Masculine want us to know. I got the Garden of Spirits. These cards are symbol cards, and they're not regular tarot cards, so I actually wrote it down from the guidebook so that I don't have to figure it out. So these titles are my writing, but they're from the guidebook. So the first card that came out is the Garden of Spirits. So the Divine Feminine have planted the seed for the connection, or the seed had been planted long ago for the twin flame connection. See? So it's been planted, and here it is. So it's been planted in the 3D, and it's here in the ether. And this is assuming for twin flame, this reading is assuming for twin flame that are in separation. And possibly no communication either, or minimal communication. So the seed has been planted, or you have planted the seed for this union, or the idea of this twin flame, and it's up here in the ether. And then the card underneath that is Mora, and I had to look this up. Mora means fate. So it's a fated union. However, the masculine is having a struggle with this faith because he got caught up in this world. So it's like he knows of it, or his soul or his heart or his spirit knows of it, but he may be in a karmic relationship. And this reading is also assuming that the Divine Masculine is in a third-party relationship, karmic relationship. Doesn't have to be a romantic one. It could be, with a mother or a family, a relative, but more than likely it's a romantic partner. So now he may be married or in a long-term relationship, and he knows in his heart that this connection is fated, but he's in this particular situation or relationship. So he's having a struggle with following his heart, following his path or his destiny versus his reality. So that's what's going on. So it's the seed has been planted. It's a fated relationship. He knows it, but he's struggling with it and deciding, do I follow this path or do I cut this path? If you notice, she has a scissor. She has a scissor on her lap. The next card that came out is abortion. So right from the start, right from the get-go, when the seed was planted for this union, it was sabotage, and it basically got killed, or almost got killed, or did get killed or squashed even before it could even had a chance or get started. So the seed was planted, and then it got squashed before it could even get started. Abortion is the title of this card. or right as it was birthing or being birthed, it got squashed. However, there's always hope. It's faded, so there's light all around it, shining, blessing from above, shielded by the guides and angels, star family. And here is the Divine Feminine in all her glory, being in her full power. And the Divine Masculine, and this card is called the Lover. This card is called the Crusader. So now he is finding his way back to the Divine Feminine. He or she switch the roles as needed. And so he's out in this battle, finding his way back to his feminine with the guided light from above. This card is castigation, and so he's going through guilt. It could be brainwashing from the world, childhood, the way he was raised, religion, family, guilt, manipulation, whatever it is. He's going through guilt, and he's giving himself self-punishment. Okay? Being bad, being a bad boy, bad girl, bad. And so he's imprisoned in his own mind through this programming. Okay? And because of this programming and this thinking in this environment, it may have led him to sickness or just pushing everyone away and being on his own. Sickness or extreme exhaustion. Okay, so this is what the Divine Masculine is going through. Guilt, self-punishment, mentally trapped, feeling trapped, stuck, and perhaps major fatigue or sickness. And I didn't, there's more, but then I stopped pulling, but this is how it was when I was shuffling. At the bottom of the deck, there's deception. So he had been deceived all his life. Okay, there was deception. Sadness. He's going through sadness. I hear remorse also. Because he's been coming from his ego and focusing on career, work, money, the things of this earth, of this world, and neglecting his spirituality or his spiritual gifts. So now he's working on retreating, meditating, enlightenment, perhaps while he's in this state. I also hear coma, so some of the Divine Masculine may be really sick to the point of being in a coma, or if not a coma, while he's sleeping or in his deep sleep dream state. His soul is being taken back to the light for healing and enlightenment and retreat. I hear soul retrieval. So soul retrieval has to do with healing from this life, past life, so that the soul is free, no longer trapped from the karmic patterns that cause him to be in a loop, to cause him to be stuck and trapped mentally. So breaking free from the loop, the mental trap. Then the card underneath that is matter and spirit. So meditating, learning what's important between the 3D, the 5D, the material world, spiritual world, the physical things versus between basically the mind and the heart, the ego and the heart, the ego and the spirit. Matter and spirit. And what else? Once he learned that, he will find his way back towards union with his twin. Pythia, this card is about intuition. Trusting his intuition, trusting his gift of sight, trusting his inner vision, his third eye opening up, trusting and seeing the gift of seeing. And then underneath that was the angel pouring down the blessing to help him see that he's been a puppet of this world, operating from the materialistic world, from the ego, and not from his spirit, or why he came to this planet. And it started in childhood, infancy. So some of the Divine Masculine may be dealing with karma, having a karmic relationship with his mother initially, which led to the karmic relationship with all his life, with all the relationships up until this time. So that's why we need the soul retrieval and the healing, because it's a pattern, it's a loop, starting initially with the mother from infancy. Oh, okay, so I'm being drawn to this. So it's like almost like set up for failure from infancy, from the beginning. So this card has double meaning. The twin flame got squashed from the very beginning, and the Divine Masculine, basically from infancy, was trapped in this loop, is the karmic pattern, which most of us are in generally speaking. See, he had a dream. Dreaming Johnny, carefree, came into this world carefree with lots of visions and dreams. But then life was rough, had to deal with a lot of battle. I hear battling the demons, battling, struggling, hardship, financial hardship, hardship in general, spiritual warfare. And then we have confession. So, taught to submit, basically the programming again. The programming. To obey, image, what's right, what looks good, the whole shebang. And then we have vampire, I know that. Fell into the dark forces. But learning to balance between good and evil, dark and light. Duality. Duality. Learning to deal with the duality of the 3D plane. And learning the difference between the twin flame and the karmic, between love and fear, between authenticity and fakeness or just image. That's interesting, learning light and dark, goodness and bad, karmic and twin flame. Interesting. Interesting how this came out. Sleeping Beauty is next. So the Divine Feminine is surrounded by love and shielded. I see these two hands. So she's also healing. That's interesting. So they're both kind of healing in their own ways, going within in their own ways. I just noticed this cross up here. So some of the Divine Masculine may be trapped in the programming with the religion programming. You know, what's right, what's wrong, all that. All the programming. Ancestral programming, family programming, religion programming. So then I have this deck. It's called The Blind Spot. And I was shuffling to ask, what is the Divine Masculine blind spot? And these cards are sigil. So what came out with this was this card, number 75. And the title of this card, its name, Incompatibility. So I'm going to just read it because it's interesting. So basically, incompatibility is when, I'll just read it. Just to recap. Basically, he's in an incompatible situation with an incompatible person, but he's trying to make it work, make it fit, trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. So that's the quick recap in case some of you get bored when I'm reading. But the one that is interested, I want to read this to you really quick. It's 10:10 right now. That's very interesting. It's 10:10. 10:10. And East Coast anyway. All right. I've been seeing 10:10 a lot. If you have drawn this sigil, incompatibility is present and you are not seeing or acknowledging it. So basically, he's in denial. He's in an incompatible relationship, but he's not acknowledging it. This could be incompatibility with anything such as another person, a living environment, a health or spiritual practice, a group, or a job. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. It could be any of those things. Okay, it could be a karmic relationship with the mother. It could be a job. It could be the situation, or it could be the karmic romantic partner. So depending on what situation he's in. You are being called to stop trying to force a square peg into a round hole and accept this incompatibility so you can allow yourself or someone else to gravitate to what is compatible instead of continuing to try to change what will not change. So basically, he's been trying to live this perfect image of the perfect family or the perfect job or the perfect relationship. It's all image. It's all image. And he's trying to make it work, but it will not change. It's incompatible. Incompatibility is the condition of two things being so different in nature and so uncomplementary in that difference that they are incapable of coexisting harmoniously. It is tempting to assume that incompatibility is simply about having differences, but what incompatibility is really about is putting people with these non-harmonious differences in roles or positions with each other that require there be either no difference or that require a difference that is non-harmonious in nature to be harmonious. When incompatibility is present in a relationship, it is usually very difficult for people to admit it, to change the nature of their relationship, to change their roles in each other's lives, or to end the relationship. We want everything to work out so badly because we can't face the reality of the incompatibility because of what it would mean to us. Basically, a shattering of your world, the tower moment. But due to this, we destroy the relationship. We try to make the other person compatible with us by making them wrong or bad for their difference, which creates shame in them, and they most likely will do the same to us. So basically a toxic relationship. After a while, the emotional condition of the relationship itself is shame and resentment towards each other because of it. Often when we make the other person wrong for their difference, we come up with a reason why they are wrong for it and try to then heal them out of that difference or try to change it so that it doesn't exist. This never works because if you try, the message conveyed by approaching them in this manner will be, quote, you need to be fixed because something is wrong with you, unquote. They will feel totally unloved by you and unaccepted and unwanted as they are. There is a time when people, things, or circumstances come into our life specifically so that we will change and morph into different, healthier, and more expanded versions of ourselves. The pain we feel in changing so as to align with those people, things, or circumstances is the natural result of growth. There are other times when the pain we feel in changing to align with people, things, and circumstances is not the pain of growth, but the pain of denying who we really are and trying to make ourselves into something that we are not. So basically, he's rejecting himself, his gift, his destiny, his knowing to try to fit in for the image. So becoming something he's not. If you have drawn this sigil, this is one of those times that the pain does not mean positive growth. It means either you are resisting your true self or someone else's true self, or someone else is resisting your true self or their own. For anything to improve, you need to own up to the incompatibility and stop forcing yourself or anyone else sideways. Gravitate and let them gravitate towards something that is truly compatible. So basically, the situation is not going to change. He's trying to force it to change, or they're trying to force it to change. But no matter how hard you force it, you can't fit a round peg in a square hole, or a square peg in a round hole. So it's going to lead to shame and a toxic relationship where there's no growth and it's a dead end. It's not going anywhere. So then I asked, what can the divine masculine do? And then I got 3 cards that fell out. Reconciliation was the top card, followed by lighten your load and trust. So I feel that Spirit's saying to reconcile, or if you want to connect and reconcile, you need to let go of any heavy thoughts or burden, free yourself, and just trust. So basically just detach from the whole thing and don't try to fix or heal or help. It's growing pain that the divine masculines need to go through on their own. Trust, like that saying where the story of where the caterpillar, one day someone was walking and they saw the caterpillar was trying to break free from the cocoon and it was struggling, and so that person took the scissor and cut the cocoon to try to help it, but in reality it killed it because the cocoon is meant for the caterpillar to gain enough strength to get its wings strong, and once the wings is strong enough to break free from that cocoon, that's when it's strong enough to be able to fly. But because they snipped the cocoon, the wings did not get strong enough, so it killed it. So basically, even though your divine masculine may be struggling and going through all this, and it may be painful to watch, or if you're not communicating, you could feel it in your solar plexus, in your soul, and it's painful to stand by and watch a loved one go through pain. But Spirit is saying to just let it go, let that heart, the heaviness of that go, and just trust. Trust that your masculine have the strength to make it through it, because you did, and we each need to, right? Survival of the fitness. We have the strength, and we have the ability, and the struggle is what will make him stronger, to build up his muscle, to build up his wings, to be able to fly and take off. If you assist or try to interfere or help, you're going to weaken his wings, and it won't be strong enough to lift him off. All right? So that's what we can do. Basically, trust. Because remember, it's a fated connection and union. Being watched over. And then I asked a message for the Divine Feminine, and I got this card, Universe. We're all just stardust. So Spirit is reminding the Divine Feminine of the big Divine Feminines of the big picture. Like zoom all the way out, you know, like the camera, you zoom in, zoom all the way out to the galaxy, especially if you connect to being a starseed. Remember why you here, why you came, what's the bigger picture. And if you resonate with this being your final incarnation, if you've always thought to yourself, this is the last lifetime here, I'm never coming back here, especially if this is your last incarnation, your last life here, you both have to balance your karma. So he's balancing his karma, or she's balancing her karma, and you're balancing yours. And so all the debt, all the karmic debt needs to be paid and cleansed and clear and balanced before we can finish. If this is truly indeed the last lifetime, the last incarnation here on this planet, on this earth. So we have to basically tidy everything up, close any loose end, close everything up, and remember, we're just stardust. It's just a blink of an eye. So don't waste time, and do what you need to do. Focus on the mission for now, and let him build up his wings to be strong, so that reconciliation and connection can take place, so that you can rejoin and do your work together. All right, Twin Flames, I hope that was helpful and useful, and it resonated, and it brought some light to your situation and understanding and clarity. Love and light to you, wishing you all the best. And I lighted an extra candle today for all the leaders of the world of light, and for all light workers, Twin Flame, all the people of light that are on the front line doing battle against the dark forces. So you feel called, light your own candle today on 8/8, or whenever you feel called. It just so happened, I didn't plan on doing anything on 8/8. It just happens I'm free today. I'm well rested. I had energy, so I'm doing. But then there's no accidents or coincidence. So I had an extra light, and this flame here is just my normal light when I do my reading. So lots happening on the planet. So take your focus off the Divine Masculine for now, and focus on yourself and your contribution to the world, to the planet. If you're a healer or whatever you are, whatever, meaning a writer, a healer, a singer, whatever your gift is, whatever you're called to do, focus on your work, because the planet, the world right now needs your light. So with that said, love and light, wishing you all the best again, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye.